Today we're taking a closer look at the United MileagePlus Neo World Elite Mastercard and the Tangerine Rewards World Elite Mastercard to see where they stand in the Canadian credit card rewards market and to see if they deserve a spot in your wallet. We'll also take a look at the Scotiabank Gold American Express Card's new Hilton Elite status offer, and we'll take a look at the new WestJet Rewards Petro-Canada Petro-Points partnership. All this and more on Rewards Canada's This Week in Rewards for April 24th, 2026. If you're looking to make the most of your loyalty reward programs and credit card rewards, you've come to the right place. This is your weekly dose of loyalty, travel, and credit card happenings in Canada from Canada's original points and miles resource, Rewards Canada. I'm your host, Patrick, and we'll kick things off with credit cards. So over the past 2 weeks, we've had two new credit cards launch here in Canada. Both of them we've had previous knowledge of and we've talked about in our videos, well, like giving you like the teasers that they're coming out, but they are out now. And since we haven't had a video in 2 weeks, we'll cover both of them in this week's video. And the first one we're going to look at is the United MileagePlus Neo World Elite Mastercard, as that card is now available. So this card marks the return of a US frequent flyer program into the Canadian co-brand credit card market. We haven't seen a card in our market for a US airline since the demise of the Delta SkyMiles card that was offered by Capital One, and previously before that the American Advantage card from TD. It's been many years since we've seen it, so it's exciting to have, United at least come into our market. This one came as a bit of a surprise because it is a Star Alliance airline. They're a big partner of Air Canada and Aeroplan, but the launch of the card makes sense because if we've talked about this in the previous video and talked about on the Rewards Canada website, is that United MileagePlus went through some changes. Those changes actually launched on April 2nd, and the changes made to the program basically make it that you earn less miles flying United if you're not a credit card holder, and you earn more miles when you fly United for being a credit card holder. So it only made sense for them to launch a credit card here in Canada. They're also launching one in Brazil, and they just launched a debit card in the UK. And all these card options allow MileagePlus members in those countries to earn the higher earn rates that are being afforded to credit card holders. So United is really pushing the credit card partnerships in this regard. So absolutely, the first thing I will say about this card, it is an absolute must for any United MileagePlus flyers in Canada. If you're flying United and crediting those flights to the MileagePlus program, you have to have this card, otherwise you're going to earn a lot less miles than not having it. So that's the whole premise behind this card. And I know a lot of people were talking about that, oh, the welcome bonus is low, it's not first year free, things like that. That's not who they're going for with this card right now with the market. The people for this card are the United MileagePlus frequent flyers because they need this card. It's very similar to the Air France KLM Flying Blue card. When it launched with Brim, there was a minor welcome bonus. Basically, you would get XP on the card, which is still kind of the welcome bonus now, but it wasn't offered first year free because when the card launches, especially for co-brand, and it's not a big program like Aeroplan that has to compete against all the other big Canadian programs, when it's a niche program for the Canadian market, you're targeting your people who are already flying with you, but you want them to, have a credit card for you and just, keep them within that ecosystem. And that's what we have happening here with the United MileagePlus card. With all that out of the way, let's actually dive into the details of this card and see whether it is worth it to have it in your wallet. All right, so the first thing we'll look at are the costs and sign-up features of the card. So this card comes in with a very low annual fee compared to, its competitors. A premium co-brand credit card in the Canadian market. This card is only $89 per year for the primary card. Compare this to pretty much its competitors, which are $120 to $139 per year. So it's, almost a $50 saving right there on this card. There are no additional cards available yet for this. Like, you can't add supplementary card holders, but that will be coming soon to this card, that you will be able to. Not sure what the fee will be. Typically, Neo charges $10, but I don't think that's going to be the case with this one for supplementary cards. Speaking of that, actually, Neo just dropped the supplementary card fee on their Neo World and their Neo Mastercard, not on the World Elite, but their lower cards. No longer have to pay a supplementary fee. Sorry, going off topic there a little bit, but let's get back to the United MileagePlus Neo card. And its welcome bonus offers up to 20,000 MileagePlus miles. So The bonus is awarded as 5,000 MileagePlus miles on card activation and making your first transaction on the card. And then if you spend $3,000 on the card within the first 3 months, you will get an additional 15,000 miles. So that's 20,000 miles total. Now, if you signed up for the waitlist bonus, you will get that. You'll get that 5,000 miles as well on top of that. They removed the cap of the first 3,000 people who are approved for the card and meet all the conditions. It's open to anybody and everybody who is on that waitlist. Some data points are showing that you don't even have to click on the link that Neo sends you in the email. You can click on any link. So, if you want to help support Rewards Canada, you can apply for this card through Rewards Canada, and you should get that waitlist bonus on top of the additional bonuses. So you stand to earn 25,000 miles in the first 3 months on this card with all those bonus offers. Now, it's also marketed as 5,000 miles higher than that. And with that, they're taking into account the anniversary bonus on the card. So this card has an anniversary bonus of 5,000 miles. Now, this doesn't require any spending, and this is an every year bonus. So this is just basically a benefit of the card. We don't consider those every year benefits as part of the welcome bonus. So if you see me talking about the card, I'll be saying it's got a 20,000 mile bonus, where some other places may say it's a 25,000 mile bonus because of that anniversary bonus. But considering it's an ongoing thing, we don't consider it part of the welcome bonus. I also should note that this is the first card from Neo that allows you to earn the bonus when you're already a Neo customer. That's been a biggest complaint, especially on the Asia Miles card, is that if you've already been a Neo customer, you would not get the welcome bonus on the Cathay card from Neo. This United card is not like that. So if you already have one of the other Neo cards or one of their Neo bank accounts, you will earn the bonus on the United MileagePlus Neo World Elite Mastercard. So that's great news. So now the key factor that a lot of people are interested on any rewards cards are the earn to burn ratio. You're earning, you're redeeming. So the earning on this card, at first glance, people be like, well, it's kind of weak. It seems low compared to other cards. But again, you can't only look at one part of the card. You can't compare the earn on one credit card to the earn on another credit card. You have to take the whole picture into consideration, and that whole picture is your earning and redeeming, or your earn to burn ratio. But let's look at those earn rates. So the earn rates on the United MileagePlus card are 1.25 MileagePlus miles, so 1.25 miles for every dollar spent on United Airlines and Star Alliance airline flight purchases. That's right. So if you buy an Air Canada flight, Turkish Airlines flight, Lufthansa flight, you name it, any Star Alliance airline, you will get 1.25 miles per dollar. So that's a very key and interesting accelerator, because outside of your aeroplan cards that earn extra points on Air Canada flights, only Air Canada though, not United and things like that, this card will award you on all the airlines. So if you are somebody who flies Turkish a lot, or Lufthansa or ANA, like I said, any of the Star Alliance airlines, you have the potential to rack up a decent amount of MileagePlus miles by using this card. Of course, you can compare it to other cards that have overall travel accelerator earn rates, something like the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite Privilege that earns 3 points per dollar on all travel purchases, or your American Express Gold Rewards or Platinum, 2 points per dollar on all travel purchases, so it would cover all those airlines as well. But again, if you're a MileagePlus earner, that 1.25 is pretty decent as well. And you have a card that's only $89 a year versus something like the Platinum, which is $7.99. So all things you have to take into consideration. So let's look at the next earn rate. So it's 1 MileagePlus mile for every $1 spent on dining and purchases. And that is uncapped, it's unlimited. Again, some people say, well, that looks low. And then the overall everyday earn rate on all other purchases is 0.75 MileagePlus miles for every dollar spent. That is, on the lower end for sure. But again, we have to take the whole picture into consideration, which I will talk about next. And then you also earn variable MileagePlus miles at thousands of Neo partner merchants. It's going to vary. Sometimes it'll be on every purchase. Sometimes it'll be every 10th purchase, those type of things. Your first purchase with a merchant, you can get extra MileagePlus miles. So that's a really good way to boost your MileagePlus earning. We've had a lot of the Rewards Canada community tell us they earn a lot of Asia miles on the Cathay card from Neo that way, or those who just have the Neo cashback cards. They earn a lot of cash back through his partners. So depending where you are in the country and where you shop, you can add a lot more MileagePlus miles to your balance using the Neo partner network. But before I jump into the other side, the redeeming, to give you the whole picture of, is there value in those earn rates, we have to look at the earning on United flights, because this is the key driving factor of this card. The main reason you get this card is for earning those more MileagePlus miles on actual United flights. As I mentioned, April 2026, the airline changed the program for earn rates, and I put a chart up on the screen. You can see, the general earn rates of a non-credit card holder versus somebody who has a credit card. So, if you're not a credit card holder and you're flying basic economy with United, a general member, you're not going to earn any miles. If you're a premier, you might earn 2 to 6 miles. But by having the credit card, that a general member, you jump up to 3 MileagePlus miles per US dollar spent, and that jumps all the way up to 9 for a premier 1K. And then if you look at all the other fares above basic economy, if you don't have a credit card, you're only earning 3 MileagePlus miles per dollar. If you have the credit card, you double that to 6 MileagePlus miles per US dollar spent on flights. So a big increase just by having that credit card, and that jumps all the way up to 12 miles per dollar if you're a premier 1K and have the credit card versus 9 if you don't have the credit card. Like I said, look at this chart on the screen. It gives you all the MileagePlus earn rates. It is significantly higher by having that credit card. For a lot of people, even probably just one round trip, that $89 annual fee will be paid off by those extra MileagePlus miles you will earn on the flight by having the card. And then you get everything else on top, icing on the cake, right? But this is where it can also be valuable for Air Canada flyers. For people who fly with Air Canada but perhaps don't have elite status or don't fly with Air Canada that often, by booking them through United, you can technically earn more miles than you would Air Canada aeroplan points on those flights. Here's an example: Toronto to Newark, New Jersey. Purchasing that through Air Canada was $260.38. This was a flight on Air Canada, purchased through Air Canada, and purchasing that same flight through United, it's the same flight on Air Canada, worked out to about $177 US, which is very close, 261 Canadian roughly, so basically the same price. With Aeroplan and using an Aeroplan credit card, say the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite, you would earn a total of 524 Aeroplan points on that purchase. If you did the same thing booking that flight through United by having the United MileagePlus card, you would earn a total of 908 United MileagePlus miles. But of course, you can't compare just the earn without the burn, but we do have some examples in our blog post where, the MileagePlus redemptions are better. So by earning more miles and by potentially having a better redemption rate on some flights, it's going to vary by individual. Like, this is something everybody has to take into consideration, that by having this credit card and booking Air Canada flights through United, you may end up being rewarded with better value than doing so through Air Canada. So this is just something to take into consideration as well. So now we'll look at redeeming MileagePlus miles. So of course, it's a frequent flyer program. They have dynamic reward pricing. We can't, nail down an exact value of the miles. People say they're worth so and so many cents per mile. We give it an average of 1.5. Pretty much all airline programs we're giving 1.5 because that's a safe valuation for most programs, like so 1.5 cents per mile. But the best way is to actually just compare some actual examples. But I should note, by having the credit card, that's the other thing that they changed in the United MileagePlus program, is that by having the credit card, you're going to get a discount on the number of miles required when you redeem for, reward flights on United or United Express. It doesn't work on partner airlines. It's kind of like the Air Canada Aeroplan discount you have for, the preferred pricing. By having one of their co-brand cards, you get a discount on Air Canada Metal for Aeroplan award flights, but you don't get that discount for partner flights. So same thing here. They also say you're going to get more access to Saver Awards. Some of our readers have said they haven't seen that access yet, but when you read deeper into it, it's select routes at select times. So sometimes you'll get more access, sometimes you will not. So let's compare some of those, say, MileagePlus award flights with some Aeroplan flights, because everybody's going to compare MileagePlus to Aeroplan because they're two Star Alliance airlines, they're partners. So this is the closest comparison you can do. So what I put on our website was like Toronto to Regina. Air Canada Aeroplan came out way ahead. It's a better program for domestic flyers. And I've said this in all my discussions about the United MileagePlus credit card. It is not an ideal card for domestic flyers. Air Canada Aeroplan, especially in economy class, comes out with much better pricing, and your earn rates on the credit cards for the TD, like Aeroplan Visa Infinite or other cards. I'm always comparing the Visa Infinite because that's the closest to a World Elite Mastercard. Between those earn rates and redemption rates, Aeroplan will do better. But where the MileagePlus card can shine is on those flights to the US or even international flights where you connect via the US using, primarily United Airlines as the airline that you're flying on. So for example, I'll put it up on the screen, Calgary to Denver with United MileagePlus was 10,800 miles. That exact same flight with Air Canada Aeroplan was 15,000 points. Now, of course, we have to look at the earn. You're earning up to 1.5 points per dollar on an Air Canada card like the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite. So if we say take grocery spending, let's take $10,000 of grocery spending. That's going to be 15,000 points. So you can get this flight to Denver for $10,000 of grocery spending. And the MileagePlus card only earns 1 mile per dollar on groceries, which means you would have to spend $10,800 on the MileagePlus card to get it. So that's actually more spending to get the same flight, even though it's more points with Air Canada Aeroplan. But remember, by having the United MileagePlus card, you get that at least a 10% discount. So that brings the amount of miles required for that Calgary to Denver flight down to $9,720. So you're actually spending less on groceries. You can spend $9,720 on groceries versus $10,000 on the Air Canada card. So this is, I'm just throwing examples out there of how the card can do better and how it is actually, and how even with those low earn rates, it can surprisingly be a decent card. It just has to work for you as an individual. It's not going to work for most Canadians, I'll tell you that. But it will work for people in the points miles community. It will work for flyers to the US and some international flyers. And that brings me to the next example, and that was Vancouver to Sydney, Australia, all on United metal. United Airlines wanted 55,000 miles and Air Canada wanted 63,000 points. So again, Air Canada cards get higher earn rates, so potentially you can spend less on the card, but you get that 10% discount with United. So you're only looking at 49,500 miles for that flight. So you're looking at, a minimum of $39,600 spending on your card versus TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite card, you would have a minimum spending of $42,000. So you could spend less on the United card. Again, like I said, it's a very specific example, but I'm just showing that for some people, the United MileagePlus card will work out better than the Air Canada Aeroplan cards. All right, let's dive into some features and benefits on the United MileagePlus card. So you have the annual renewal bonus. I already talked about that. You get 5,000 miles every year, every time you renew the card. You don't have to spend anything. It comes, you pay your annual fee, you get your 5,000 bonus miles. You get first check bag free on United flights. This is not the same as the first check bag free that we are used to on the Air Canada cards or on the WestJet cards. This one is only for the primary card holders. So it's good and not so good. If you read my review of the credit card, what is good about this card? I say the first check bag free if you're a solo traveler. What is not so good is if you're traveling with family, the rest of your family is still going to have to pay for their luggage on United flights. The next benefit is priority boarding. One of our readers said they're getting the card just for this. They love that it's Zone 2 priority boarding and it's worth the $89. Again, so if you're a semi-frequent to frequent United flyer who doesn't have status yet, it's getting access to emptier bins up top, so you can put your carry-on luggage in the bins before everybody else. So for some people, paying $89 for Zone 2 priority boarding, absolutely worth it. It has a Nexus credit as well, so they're going to credit you up to $120 every 5 years towards a Nexus renewal or Nexus application. Now, the Nexus cards, of course, cost $120. So basically, you should get your Nexus credit covered totally by this. And then, of course, the card comes with your usual World Elite Mastercard benefits. Mastercard Travel Pass provided by Dragon Pass. No free passes here, though. You still have to pay your US $32 to enter each lounge. You get the FlexiRoam global data roaming, Fubo discount, H&R Block discount, and the Booking.com discount. Insurance coverage, decent, not the best out there, but not the worst either. You get out of province emergency medical insurance, coverage of 14 days for those 60 and under. That's kind of where Neo lacks a little bit because most other cards are 64 before they change or don't cover you anymore. This is only up to 60. So it has trip cancellation, trip interruption, flight delay, the whole shebang for travel insurance coverage. There you go, your first wrap up and look at the United MileagePlus Neo World Elite Mastercard. What do you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments below. Now we'll jump into the other new card that was released, and that card was released this past week, and that is the Triangle Rewards World Elite Mastercard. So this is the first Scene Plus earning Mastercard and first Scene Plus earning card from Tangerine. This one was teased back in February when they started announcing, that the move to Shell for Scene Plus, and Tangerine was coming out with a new premium card. Well, it's here now, and well. I think if you read comments online everywhere, whether it's on the Rewards Canada Hub, Reddit, you name it, there is disappointment surrounding this card. Everybody thought it would be, this new great card. We were hoping it'd be a great card. So what do I say? Let's just jump into the details, and I will let you know more about the card. So it keeps in line with Tangerine's other offerings in that you get to select categories where you will get higher accelerated earn rates. So you get to pick from 3 categories, just like the other Tangerine cards, except instead of increased cashback, you get increased Scene Plus points. We'll jump into that in a second. First, let's look at the welcome bonus and annual fees. So the card is $120 per year for the primary card, $30 for supplementary cards. So it is on the lower end for a premium card, but you know, it's high for what this card offers. I'll tell you that right now. And the welcome bonus on the card, not bad. The welcome bonus is actually decent. 30,000 Scene Plus points when you spend $3,000 on the card within the first 3 months. So that's $300 worth of travel right there and then, which can make paying that $120 annual fee in the first year worth it, because you would come out $180 ahead. And then there's also a annual bonus of 10,000 points when you spend $30,000 on the card during the course of the year. I don't like to count that as part of the welcome bonus. You're going to see people promoting this card as 40,000 points, you know, in your first year, and that's only if you hit that 30,000 spending. This is an ongoing benefit. It's just like that 5,000 mile renewal bonus on the United card. This is basically a bonus you can get every year. This is an ongoing benefit. It's not part of the welcome bonus. So note that the actual welcome bonus is 30,000 points, but if you spend 30,000 on a card, you can earn 10,000 X points, just like the Scotia Passport Visa Infinite. I try not to include it's $40,000 every year that you spend to get 10,000 points for it, you know, as part of that welcome bonus and all that. All right, so now let's get into nitty-gritty. Of course, it's a rewards card, so what does everybody look at? Is the rewards, the earn to burn. So the Tangerine Rewards World Elite Mastercard, you will earn 1.5 Scene Plus points in those 3 categories that you choose to earn accelerated earn rates, and 1 Scene Plus point per dollar on everything else. So if you have, you know, some running knowledge of Scene Plus, you'll know that Scene Plus, when you redeem them for travel or at Scene Plus partners, you get 1 cent per point in value when you redeem those points. So if we take the 1.5 Scene Plus points, times that by that 1 cent per point, you're getting a 1.5% return on spending. If we take the 1 Scene Plus point, that's a 1% return on spending. And that is where everybody has the issues with this card, even myself. That's lower than the Tangerine cashback cards. The Tangerine, you know, World and the Tangerine Money Back card, they both offer 2% cash back in those 3 categories. Well, actually, it's 2 categories. A third category if you add a Tangerine bank account. I don't believe that on this one you have to have the bank account to get all 3 categories, but I'm still going to double check on that with Scotia and Scene Plus, and I'll update you guys. But regardless, so say you open a Tangerine bank account because it's free, you might as well. You get 3 categories to earn 2% cash back on those other cards. So those categories you can earn quite a bit more. But where the difference is that those no-fee cashback versions only earn 0.5% on all other spending, whereas Scene Plus card, this one, the Tangerine Rewards World Elite, earns 1 Scene Plus point, which is 1%. You're earning double in all those other spending categories. But that's also what you get on all the other Scene Plus cards. Like, there's no other Scene Plus cards that have, say, a lower base earn rate. So, you know, you have things like the Passport Infinite, you're getting 2 points, 3 points, and that 1 point. You have the Gold American Express card, which is $120 annual fee, which gets you 1 to 6 Scene Plus points, versus this 1.5. You know, so this one is a head scratcher. We at least thought, I think I commented on our Facebook group or on one of our Facebook pages that this card would have just been remarkably better even if they had just done 2 Scene Plus points per dollar on those 3 accelerated categories. It'd be better if it was 2.5, but had they done 2, it would have made this card a little bit more competitive, even with their own cards. So it's really unfortunate that it has such low earn rates. And I've kind of already touched upon the redemption rates. I said it's 1 cent per point when you redeem at Scene Plus partners and all that stuff. So yeah, so just kind of a disappointment there in the earn rates on this card. And because this card's a premium card, it's going to be compared more to things like the Passport Visa Infinite. You know, higher earn rates on the Passport Visa Infinite. Yeah, it has a higher annual fee, but it has also no effects fees. It has, you know, more lounge passes. I'll talk about lounge passes right after this. So yeah, so just, you know, a very weak soft launch. This card has been soft launched this week. I should announce that too. It officially launches in a couple weeks, but this was the soft launch. And yeah, you know, hopefully they can pull a Neo and change the card based on feedback, but I doubt that because the big banks tend not to change things so quickly like the fintechs. You know, that's the great thing about the small fintechs is that they can adapt and adjust quickly to feedback. So if this card doesn't take off like Tangerine and Scotia may be hoping, maybe we will see it updated, but it may be 6 months, 12 months down the road. Who knows? So the primary benefit on this card is Mastercard Travel Pass because it is a World Elite that comes on all of them, but this one includes 4 annual passes. So you get 4 complimentary visits to lounges, $32 US each, pretty good value. So that's basically what you're paying. Your $120 annual fee though on this card is for those passes, because most of what this card offers beyond that you can get on free cards. So, you know, or something like the Scotia Passport Visa Infinite, $150 a year, you get 6 passes, and you get no effects fees, and you get better earn rates. So just a lot to soak in and take into consideration. This card is not very competitive versus most of the cards in the market. It's still better than some. I called it middle of the road. It's probably on the lower side of middle of the road in terms of the rewards market, but it's not the bottom of the barrel, but it's not the top either. My main word was mediocre. I've used that a lot of times for certain cards in the market, and this is another one of those mediocre cards. Of course, it has the shell benefits for the Scene Plus partnership and that, but you can get that with any of the Scene Plus Scotia cards, where you can get more earn rates and all that stuff and better benefits. Where this card may have some use is some of those specific categories where you can earn the 1.5 Scene Plus points, like home improvement. You can't get that on other Scene Plus cards. But then you have to ask yourself, it's like, well, I'm getting 1.5% back. Why don't I just get the other Tangerine card and get 2% cash back, right? Because they have the same categories on those other cards. That's why this card needed to be at least 2 Scene Plus points per dollar in those categories. Because it would have the same value, and people would say, okay, well, I'm already earning Scene Plus points on other cards. I can add to my balance with this one. Whereas at 1.5 Scene Plus points, yeah, you're adding to your balance, but I mean, cash back is just the same. So you might as well go for a Tangerine cashback card and get 2% in those categories, if you know what I mean. So yeah, like I said, this is a head scratcher with this card, but it does let you create an ultimate Scene Plus credit card portfolio. I will have that coming up on the Rewards Canada website, because why not? Because now you have a Mastercard and AmeriExpress and Visa all Scene Plus earning. So you can do an ultimate credit card portfolio. This would be the only actual program in Canada where you can have one card from each of the major brands that have a Mastercard, an AmeriExpress, and a Visa. No other program in Canada offers that. So that's kind of unique. It's kind of cool. I just wish those earn rates were a little higher on the card. And now in credit cards, we'll still continue on with Scene Plus. So Scotiabank, the Gold American Express card, has a new elite status offers. So if you recall, a year ago, Scotiabank Gold Amex cardholders could get free Marriott Bonvoy status. That was actually a better deal than this one, but this is still a decent deal. Now they have an offer with Hilton Honors. So you can go to Hilton Honors and you can get a trial Silver Elite status. You do this through the 10 concierge service that comes with your card. So you can even apply for the card now if you don't have it yet. Earn the 45,000 bonus points that come on the card and get up to 6 times points earning, no effects fees, all the good things. This is one of the best cards in Canada. Yeah, so right now it is a limited time offer. It's, somewhat limited. It goes till the end of this year. You can get free Hilton Honors Silver status. Now it's a trial. You get it for 90 days. So you'll have Silver status for 90 days. And within those 90 days, if you complete a stay, it has to be a single stay of 3 nights or more, you will get to keep the Silver status. But if you make a stay of 5 nights or more, a single stay, you will get Gold Elite status, which is really good. So you get to upgrade to Gold. Hilton Gold is decent. I mean, it's kind of run of the mill, just like a lot of the loyalty programs like Marriott Gold and all that. But it's better than nothing. Even having that Silver status is better than nothing, right? So it gets you in your foot in the door with Hilton status. So because you have 90 days to do this, and you have until the end of this year to sign up for the Hilton status, don't go jumping on this right away. Wait until you know you will have a Hilton stay of 3 nights or 5 nights so that you can extend that status beyond. You'll maybe a couple weeks before you have your Hilton stay, sign up for this offer. You'll have Silver status for that stay, complete your stay, and then you'll continue on having Silver or Gold, depending on if it's a 3-night or 5-night stay. Now, there are other options to get Hilton Elite status. Of course, you can get yourself the Platinum card from AmeriExpress or the Business Platinum from AmeriExpress. They come with Hilton Gold status automatically. I mean, you just, you register for it, but you don't have to do anything, and you get Hilton Gold status, like full Hilton Gold, no trial, no number of stays required, you get it. But of course, those are $799 a year cards. So you have to weigh the benefits. Don't get it just for the Hilton Gold status, unless you're gonna have hundreds of stays or something like that. Might be worth it until you actually earn status based on your stays. But you can also do a status match. So if you have status in other hotel programs, you can status match to Hilton. It is the same thing. It's a trial status, and then you get 90 days to either keep or improve that status. So if you have a lot of Hilton stays, you can actually get yourself Diamond with the status match. So if you actually do the status match offer, you just have to complete 6 nights to get Gold. So 6 nights is more than the 5 from the Scotia offer, but these can be 6 separate nights. It doesn't have to be one stay, so that's something to take into account. But if you want that Diamond, and you can stay 12 nights within that 90-day period, go for the status match, because then you're gonna have Diamond status, which is much better within the Hilton program. And before we get into loyalty and travel news, we have our next 25th anniversary contest happening. I said in our last video, the next one's coming up right away, and it is here. With this one, when you enter, you have a chance to win 25,000 Coast Hotels Coast Rewards points, two $50 Gig Sky gift cards, and two Plaza Premium Lounge passes for use at their lounges in Canada. So be sure to enter. This contest runs until April 30th. So if you're watching this video after April 30th, just check out our website for the other contests. We're running contests all year long to celebrate our 25th anniversary. But if you're watching this before April 30th, make sure you enter that contest. In case you're wondering, 25,000 Coast Rewards points. You can use it as $100 towards any Coast hotel stay at any of their 50 locations across Western Canada and the US, even Hawaii. You can convert them into 25,000 aeroplan points as well. That's a key one for points and miles community. So keep that in mind as well. If you're thinking, well, I'm not going to enter the contest because I'll never stay at a Coast hotel, well, you can convert it to Air Canada aeroplan. So there's your little tip of the week with our contest. All right, so that takes us into loyalty and travel news. Before I get into the loyalty and travel news, I'll just do a Points Travel Festival follow-up. So that was last weekend. That's why we didn't have a video last weekend because of the travel and being at the conference and all those things. I want to give a quick shout out to everyone from the Rewards Canada community who attended, who came to say hi. A lot of you had great things to say about the website, about the podcast, about our YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. You know, without you guys and your support, Rewards Canada wouldn't be what it is today. You guys are awesome, so thank you. All right, so now let's get into this week's loyalty and travel news. And we're going to start off with a guide to the Air Miles Blue Rewards transition. So this is up on the Rewards Canada website. I've covered a lot of this in past videos, so I'm not going to go into details here. But if you want to learn more about the transition and find everything in one place, we have this excellent guide on the Rewards Canada website. I'll put the link in the description below so that you can go to it and read this entire guide. It will be updated as we learn more, like when more partners come out and more news comes out. And next we have Petro-Canada, Petro-Points, and WestJet Rewards announcing a partnership. Yes, we have another linked loyalty partnership in our market. Well, it's going to come in 2027, but this partnership will allow members of both programs to choose which currency to earn at Petro-Canada. So you'll be able to choose, do I want to earn Petro points on my fuel ups or WestJet Rewards points? You can choose that. So that you'll choose your preferred loyalty currency on fuel, car wash, convenience store purchases. So you get an expansion of earning WestJet points if you're like a big WestJet Rewards person, maybe not so much a Petro Points person. You can earn 20% more Petro points on purchases at Petro-Canada. This one, I'm still trying to figure this one out because, normally the 20% more Petro points, if you're earning Petro points, that's what you get. But if you're earning WestJet Rewards points, are you still going to earn 20% Petro? That doesn't make sense. So still trying to figure that one out. I will do some digging and talk to the powers that be in each of the programs to see if we can learn more about that. Maybe we won't learn until like 2027. This is an early announcement. We've seen this in the loyalty industry. They like to give notice way ahead of time nowadays for these partnerships. I don't know if it's bragging rights or why they do it, but it's just, the news is out there that WestJet and Petro are partnering, but it's not starting till next year. You'll be able to redeem WestJet points at Petro-Canada for eligible purchases. So that's interesting that you can redeem your WestJet points just like you can for Skip, Telus, all those things. So, WestJet's becoming more of a everyday program as well. We're seeing this with all the programs with these linked loyalties. You'll also be able to convert Petro points to WestJet points. We don't know what that conversion ratio will be. They say it's beginning with Petro to WestJet. Chances are you'll also be able to convert WestJet to Petro. And like I said, this partnership goes live in 2027. Overall, that's really all we know. There aren't a lot of details yet. There's some questions we still need to ask about this partnership, like will you still earn Triangle Rewards CT money on purchases if you choose to earn WestJet Rewards points instead of Petro points? I'm 50-50 on this. We'll see what happens there. I already discussed about the 20% extra Petro points. What will be the redemption rate, for converting WestJet points to Petro-Canada? My guess is roughly 120 points to $1 because that's roughly close to what they do for Skip, Telus, and those type of places. So I'm thinking it's going to be roughly the same. And then what will the conversion rate be for Petro points to WestJet points and vice versa? So a lot of questions still left to be answered, but it's still early. Who knows when it launches in 2027? Maybe we'll have details for you late 2026 or in early 2027. And the last of the loyalty news is another linked loyalty partnership announcement, but this is the end of a linked loyalty partnership, and that is Journie Rewards and M&M Food Market Rewards, their partnership is ending. So as of June 19th, this linked loyalty partnership will end. This was kind of a short partnership. It only launched like I think October 2024, so it lasted a year and a half or so. So as of June 19th, you will no longer earn Journie rewards points when you're shopping at M&M. You'll no longer be able to select to earn 300 bonus M&M food rewards points on transactions, and then the $5 M&M voucher within Journie Rewards will be removed as well. Now, if you received emails from M&M or Journie, make sure you don't delete them, because there are offers in each. As a token of their appreciation, you can get like 7 cents off per liter or $5 off a $30 purchase at M&M. So check those emails for those offers. And that brings us to the Rewards Canada Bonus Blast. The Rewards Canada Bonus Blast is where we take a look at some of the more exciting bonus points offers we've added to the website over the past week. And this week we're going to start it off with Air Canada Aeroplan. So they have and had a flight bonus, where you can earn up to 4.5x points on Air Canada flights. Now here's the issue though. The 4.5x on some of those flights ended on April 22nd for booking, but there are still some offers until April 30th. So this is my reminder to you guys as to why you need to check out the Rewards Canada website and our social media on at least once a day, if not more, because had you visited the site earlier in the week, you would have seen those bonuses that have expired and perhaps booked and earned those extra points. But anyway, so there's like a bunch of bonus offers that they had. They run until mid-December or late December, depending on the route. No registration required, which is really unique. Air Canada's been doing this more and more this year. It still has to be new bookings, from whenever the promotional period starts, but you actually don't have to register. So as long as you book, you'll get the bonus, which is great. We've had in our family, we've earned some bonuses with this as well already this year. So we'll see if this continues. There's been a lot of bonuses from Air Canada Aeroplan. They are living up to their promise of letting people earn more points through bonus offers. So these are the two that are left in this promotion. You can earn 2.5 times Aeroplan points on eligible bookings to all Air Canada destinations in Europe. So fly between Canada and Europe in economy class, except basic economy, and you will earn up to 2.5 times the points. You book by April 30th for travel until December 31st. And the other bonus that's still out there is 3 times points on eligible bookings with cash on the new U.S. routes out of Toronto City Airport. Yeah, Billy Bishop Airport. So this is to New York, Boston, Washington, and Chicago. Again, economy class, not including basic. Same thing here, booked by April 30th for travel until December 31st. And that brings us into another flight bonus. This one is from Air France, KLM Flying Blue. They're offering 10,000 Flying Blue miles for economy class flights out of Canada. Another simple one where you don't have to register, you just have to book. So if you want to help support Rewards Canada, there's links below to booking with Air France or KLM. We do earn commissions on those, so thank you to everybody who does book through us. So right now, when you book between April 22nd and May 3rd for travel completed by September 30th, in economy class, you will earn 10,000 Flying Blue miles. And this is to anywhere they fly. As long as you fly from Canada to Paris or Canada to Amsterdam and connect to anywhere else in the world, you will earn the 10,000 Flying Blue miles. That is an excellent bonus for economy class. And then remember, you can earn even more miles if you have the Air France KLM Flying Blue World Elite Mastercard. And the last bonus we'll look at is from Accor Hotels. They're offering their recurring 4 times points for stays at their new and renovated hotels. This is something we cover on the website all the time, more so on frequentflyerbonuses.com. But yeah, so every quarter, it's not really a quarter, but they, 3 or 4 times per year, they release a new set of hotels that are new or renovated that you can earn the 4 times points at. And in this set, we have a Canadian hotel. It's been a little while since we had a Canadian hotel, and that is the Sofitel Montreal Golden Mile. This hotel has been renovated, so it's part of the list. So when you register and book your stay by June 7th, for stays that are completed by October 4th, you will earn the 4 times all rewards points. That works out to a 20% return, because that's 100 points for every 10 euros spent on your stay, or the equivalent in Canadian dollars, of course. So very good bonus offer. So make sure you register for that offer and book your stay at the Sofitel if you've been planned, or check out our hotel bonus points map and you'll see all the other locations. I think there was 39 this time where you can earn this bonus. We should see, hopefully in the next round, another Canadian hotel, and that's the Rimrock Resort here in Banff. I thought it'd be on this list, but it's not yet, which really makes me think that its opening in July may be delayed, but we'll just have to wait and see. But that should be, coming up soon in the next, hopefully in the next 4 times points offer. Remember to always check out the Rewards Canada bonus points section before you book any travel. Before you book a flight, a hotel, car rental, you need to be checking this section to see if you can be earning more miles and more points on those travels. So many Canadians are just going out and booking travel directly, not realizing they can be earning so much more. They're leaving money on the table. You can find it at rewardscanada.ca/bonuses.html. A quick reminder that you will find links to all the topics covered in today's video in the description below. And if you like today's video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel if you don't do so yet, hit that notification bell so you're notified when we do post new videos, share the video with friends, family, coworkers, you name it, anybody you think can benefit from the topics. And if you have a question on anything to do with loyalty or credit cards, doesn't even have to be for this video, please leave it in the comments below. Or if you have a correction or clarification on something I got wrong, leave it in the comments below. We'll do our best to respond to all of them. And that's all she wrote for this week. Be sure to check out rewardscanada.ca and or our socials on a daily basis for all the latest loyalty offers, news, credit card rewards news, you name it. Like I said earlier in this video, there was an Air Canada bonus, which part of it has expired already. That's why you want to check us out on a daily basis. But if you can't do it on a daily basis, at the very least, you need to subscribe to our newsletter, because every Friday we summarize everything we've covered for that week. And then on Saturdays is our Rewards Canada bonus bulletin, where we do summarize all of the bonus miles and points offers we've added to the website for that past week. Those are your tickets to earning more miles, more points, so that you can redeem for more rewards. Thank you everybody for tuning in this week. Have yourselves a great weekend. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.